NLT API Genesis 28 verses 1 to 22. NLT Genesis 28:1. So Isaac called for Jacob, blessed him, and said, "You must not marry any of these Canaanite women. 2. Instead, go at once to Paddan-aram, to the house of your grandfather Bethuel, and marry one of your uncle Laban's daughters. May 3rd God Almighty *28:3 Hebrew El Shaddai bless you and give you many children, and may your descendants multiply and become many nations. May 4th God pass on to you and your descendants *28:4 Hebrew seed, also in 28:13-14, the blessings he promised to Abraham. May you own this land where you are now living as a foreigner, for God gave this land to Abraham." 5. So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Paddan-aram to stay with his uncle Laban, his mother's brother, the son of Bethuel the Aramean. 6. Esau knew that his father, Isaac, had blessed Jacob and sent him to Paddan-aram to find a wife, and that he had warned Jacob, "You must not marry a Canaanite woman." 7. He also knew that Jacob had obeyed his parents and gone to Paddan-aram. 8. It was now very clear to Esau that his father did not like the local Canaanite women. 9. So Esau visited his uncle Ishmael's family and married one of Ishmael's daughters, in addition to the wives he already had. His new wife's name was Mahalath. She was the sister of Nebaioth and the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son. Jacob's dream at Bethel. 10. Meanwhile, Jacob left Beersheba and traveled toward Haran. 11. At sundown he arrived at a good place to set up camp and stopped there for the night. Jacob found a stone to rest his head against and lay down to sleep. 12. As he slept, he dreamed of a stairway that reached from the earth up to heaven, and he saw the angels of God going up and down the stairway. 13. At the top of the stairway stood the Lord, and he said, "I am the Lord, the God of your grandfather Abraham, and the God of your father Isaac. The ground you are lying on belongs to you. I am giving it to you and your descendants." 14. Your descendants will be as numerous as the dust of the earth. They will spread out in all directions, to the west and the east, to the north and the south. And all the families of the earth will be blessed through you and your descendants. 15. What's more, I am with you, and I will protect you wherever you go. One day I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have finished giving you everything I have promised you. 16. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I wasn't even aware of it." 17. But he was also afraid and said, "What an awesome place this is. It is none other than the house of God, the very gateway to heaven." 18. The next morning Jacob got up very early. He took the stone he had rested his head against, and he set it upright as a memorial pillar. Then he poured olive oil over it. 19. He named that place Bethel, which means house of God, although it was previously called Luz. 20. Then Jacob made this vow, "If God will indeed be with me and protect me on this journey, and if he will provide me with food and clothing." 21. And if I return safely to my father's home, then the Lord will certainly be my God. 22. And this memorial pillar I have set up will become a place for worshiping God, and I will present to God 1/10 of everything he gives me. NLT API Genesis 29 verses 1 to 35. NLT Genesis 29. Jacob arrives at Paddan-aram 1. Then Jacob hurried on, finally arriving in the land of the east. 2. He saw a well in the distance. 3. Flocks of sheep and goats lay in an open field beside it, waiting to be watered. But a heavy stone covered the mouth of the well. 3. It was the custom there to wait for all the flocks to arrive before removing the stone and watering the animals. Afterward, the stone would be placed back over the mouth of the well. For Jacob went over to the shepherds and asked, "Where are you from, my friends?" "We are from Haran," they answered. 5. Do you know a man there named Laban, the grandson of Nahor?" he asked. "Yes, we do," they replied. 6. Is he doing well?" Jacob asked. "Yes, he's well," they answered. "Look, here comes his daughter Rachel with the flock now." 7. Jacob said, "Look, it's still broad daylight, too early to round up the animals. Why don't you water the sheep and goats so they can get back out to pasture?" 8. We can't water the animals until all the flocks have arrived," they replied. Then the shepherds moved the stone from the mouth of the well, and we water all the sheep and goats. 9. Jacob was still talking with them when Rachel arrived with her father's flock, for she was a shepherd. 10. And because Rachel was his cousin, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and because the sheep and goats belonged to his uncle Laban, Jacob went over to the well and moved the stone from its mouth and watered his uncle's flock. 11. Then Jacob kissed Rachel, and he wept aloud. 12. He explained to Rachel that he was her cousin on her father's side, the son of her aunt Rebekah. So Rachel quickly ran and told her father, Laban. 13. As soon as Laban heard that his nephew Jacob had arrived, he ran out to meet him. He embraced and kissed him and brought him home. When Jacob had told him his story, 14. Laban exclaimed, "You really are my own flesh and blood." Jacob marries Leah and Rachel after Jacob had stayed with Laban for about a month. 15. Laban said to him, "You shouldn't work for me without pay just because we are relatives. Tell me how much your wages should be." 16. Now Laban had 2 daughters. The older daughter was named Leah, and the younger one was Rachel. 17. There was no sparkle in Leah's eyes. Asterisk 29:17, or Leah had dull eyes, or Leah had soft eyes. The meaning of the Hebrew is uncertain, but Rachel had a beautiful figure and a lovely face. 18. Since Jacob was in love with Rachel, he told her father, "I'll work for you for 7 years if you'll give me Rachel, your younger daughter, as my wife." 19. Inch agreed. Laban replied, "I'd rather give her to you than to anyone else. Stay and work with me." 20. So Jacob worked 7 years to pay for Rachel, but his love for her was so strong that it seemed to him but a few days. 21. Finally, the time came for him to marry her. "I have fulfilled my agreement," Jacob said to Laban. "Now give me my wife so I can sleep with her." 22. So Laban invited everyone in the neighborhood and prepared a wedding feast. 23. But that night, when it was dark, Laban took Leah to Jacob, and he slept with her. 24. Laban had given Leah a servant, Zilpah, to be her maid. 25. But when Jacob woke up in the morning, "It was Leah? What have you done to me?" Jacob raged at Laban. "I worked 7 years for Rachel. Why have you tricked me?" 26. Inch It's not our custom here to marry off a younger daughter ahead of the firstborn, Laban replied. 27. Inch But wait until the bridal week is over. Then we'll give you Rachel, too, provided you promise to work another 7 years for me. 28. So Jacob agreed to work 7 more years. A week after Jacob had married Leah, Laban gave him Rachel, too. 29. Laban gave Rachel a servant, Bilhah, to be her maid. 30. So Jacob slept with Rachel, too, and he loved her much more than Leah. He then stayed and worked for Laban the additional 7 years. Jacob's many children. 31. When the Lord saw that Leah was unloved, he enabled her to have children, but Rachel could not conceive. 32. So Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Reuben. Asterisk 29:32. Reuben means, "Look, a son." It also sounds like the Hebrew for "he has seen my misery," for she said, "The Lord has noticed my misery, and now my husband will love me." 33. She soon became pregnant again and gave birth to another son. She named him Simeon. Asterisk 29:33. Simeon probably means "one who hears," for she said, "The Lord heard that I was unloved and has given me another son." 34. Then she became pregnant a 3rd time and gave birth to another son. He was named Levi. Asterisk 29:34. Levi sounds like a Hebrew term that means being attached or feeling affection for she said, "Surely this time my husband will feel affection for me, since I have given him 3 sons." 35. Once again Leah became pregnant and gave birth to another son. She named him Judah. Asterisk 29:35. Judah is related to the Hebrew term for praise, for she said, "Now I will praise the Lord." And then she stopped having children. NLT API Genesis 30 verses 1 to 43. NLT Genesis 31. When Rachel saw that she wasn't having any children for Jacob, she became jealous of her sister. She pleaded with Jacob, "Give me children, or I'll die." 2. Then Jacob became furious with Rachel. "Am I God?" he asked. He's the one who has kept you from having children. 3 Then Rachel told him, Take my maid, Bilhah, and sleep with her. She will bear children for me. 30:3 Hebrew bear children on my knees. And through her I can have a family too. For so Rachel gave her servant, Bilhah, to Jacob as a wife, and he slept with her. 5 Bilhah became pregnant and presented him with a son. 6 Rachel named him Dan. 30:6 Dan means he judged or he vindicated, for she said, God has vindicated me. He has heard my request and given me a son. 7 Then Bilhah became pregnant again and gave Jacob a second son. 8 Rachel named him Naphtali. 30:8 Naphtali means my struggle, for she said, I have struggled hard with my sister, and I'm winning. 9 Meanwhile, Leah realized that she wasn't getting pregnant anymore, so she took her servant, Zilpah, and gave her to Jacob as a wife. 10 Soon Zilpah presented him with a son. 11 Leah named him Gad. 30:11 Gad means good fortune, for she said, How fortunate I am. 12 Then Zilpah gave Jacob a second son. 13 And Leah named him Asher. 30:13 Asher means happy, for she said, What joy is mine. Now the other women will celebrate with me. 14 One day during the wheat harvest, Reuben found some mandrakes growing in a field and brought them to his mother, Leah. Rachel begged Leah, Please give me some of your son's mandrakes. 15 But Leah angrily replied, Wasn't it enough that you stole my husband? Now will you steal my son's mandrakes too? Rachel answered, I will let Jacob sleep with you tonight if you give me some of the mandrakes. 16 So that evening, as Jacob was coming home from the fields, Leah went out to meet him. You must come and sleep with me tonight, she said. I have paid for you with some mandrakes that my son found. So that night he slept with Leah. 17 And God answered Leah's prayers. She became pregnant again and gave birth to a fifth son for Jacob. 18 She named him Issachar. 30:18 Issachar sounds like a Hebrew term that means reward, for she said, God has rewarded me for giving my servant to my husband as a wife. 19 Then Leah became pregnant again and gave birth to a sixth son for Jacob. 20 She named him Zebulun. 30:20 Zebulun probably means honor, for she said, God has given me a good reward. Now my husband will treat me with respect, for I have given him 6 sons. 21 Later, she gave birth to a daughter and named her Dinah. 22 Then God remembered Rachel's plight and answered her prayers by enabling her to have children. 23 She became pregnant and gave birth to a son. God has removed my disgrace, she said. 24 And she named him Joseph. 30:24 Joseph means may he add, for she said, May the Lord add yet another son to my family. Jacob's wealth increases. 25 Soon after Rachel had given birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, Please release me so I can go home to my own country. 26 Let me take my wives and children, for I have earned them by serving you, and let me be on my way. You certainly know how hard I have worked for you. 27 Please listen to me, Laban replied. I have become wealthy, for *30:27, or I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you. 28 Tell me how much I owe you. Whatever it is, I'll pay it. 29 Jacob replied, You know how hard I've worked for you, and how your flocks and herds have grown under my care. 30 You had little indeed before I came, but your wealth has increased enormously. The Lord has blessed you through everything I've done. But now what about me? When can I start providing for my own family? 31 What wages do you want? Laban asked again. Jacob replied, Don't give me anything. Just do this one thing, and I'll continue to tend and watch over your flocks. 32 Let me inspect your flocks today and remove all the sheep and goats that are speckled or spotted, along with all the black sheep. Give these to me as my wages. 33 The future. When you check on the animals you have given me as my wages, you'll see that I have been honest. If you find in my flock any goats without speckles or spots, or any sheep that are not black, you will know that I have stolen them from you. 34 All right, Laban replied. It will be as you say. 35 But that very day Laban went out and removed the male goats that were streaked and spotted, all the female goats that were speckled and spotted or had white patches, and all the black sheep. He placed them in the care of his own sons, 36, who took them a 3 days' journey from where Jacob was. Meanwhile, Jacob stayed and cared for the rest of Laban's flock. 37. Then Jacob took some fresh branches from poplar, almond, and plane trees and peeled off strips of bark, making white streaks on them. 38. Then he placed these peeled branches in the watering troughs where the flocks came to drink, for that was where they mated. 39. And when they mated in front of the white-streaked branches, they gave birth to young that were streaked, speckled, and spotted. 40. Jacob separated those lambs from Laban's flock, and at mating time, he turned the flock to face Laban's animals that were streaked or black. This is how he built his own flock instead of increasing Laban's. 41. Whenever the stronger females were ready to mate, Jacob would place the peeled branches in the watering troughs in front of them. Then they would mate in front of the branches. 42. But he didn't do this with the weaker ones, so the weaker lambs belonged to Laban, and the stronger ones were Jacob's. 43. As a result, Jacob became very wealthy, with large flocks of sheep and goats, female and male servants, and many camels and donkeys.